Hello and welcome back to another brand new podcast by me, FoxyNoTail, here streaming to you through the internet, through your podcast application of choice, I guess, or a website, or you might even be watching this on YouTube. Who knows? Nobody knows. And you know what? It's been a long time. It has been a very, very long time since I last did a podcast. It's actually been about 11 weeks. And what have I been doing in that 11 weeks? Why haven't I put a podcast out in that 11 weeks? Well, mainly, I've been recording, editing, organising and dealing with Truly Bedrock Season 0, which went amazing. It was an absolute blast. I had an amazing time and it has been received so well, but we'll talk about that later. What else have I been doing in the last 11 weeks? To be honest with you, I can't remember. It's pretty much been Truly Bedrock's taken over my life. There has been a few bits going on outside of that, such as work and life and everything else. But yeah, mainly Truly Bedrock. So why haven't I put a podcast out in the last 11 weeks? Firstly, yeah, I've been pretty busy. I have been very busy. It's been very difficult to find the time to do anything else. You'll notice there's been a massive drop in other types of content on my channel. The other reason is I haven't had a great deal to talk about. I've not had any moments where I've been really passionate about a particular subject within Minecraft that I wanted to put out there. So today's the day. And again, I'm not actually words. Yeah, and I'm not actually sitting here thinking I need to get something off my chest about the latest update or anything like that. To be honest with you, right now, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with how Mojang are behaving and Bedrock are behaving and everything like that. So, yeah, let's get into it. And of course, we always start off these podcasts by me talking about my week. So my weeks, the last 11 weeks, what have I been doing? Good question. Outside of Minecraft, work has gone from being very busy and me being on the road a lot to now being relatively quiet. It's actually pretty quiet at work, which is good for Minecraft because it means I can spend more time working in the background doing things like editing and off-camera work and things like that. But it's obviously bad for me as an individual paying my bills. If work is quiet, I'm not getting paid. I am self-employed, effectively. I run my own business, and the business consists of only me. I don't have handfuls of employees doing my work for me. So if things are quiet at work, things are quiet at home, it means money isn't going into my bank account, which always runs the risks of bills not being paid. However, because I had a good end of last year and a good beginning of this year, things are relatively comfortable. So I'm not too worried just yet. I just hope that, things start picking up again before summer. Otherwise, I'm going to be coming into the later part of this year around Christmas and things like that, wondering where all my money's gone. And I think most of it's probably gone into making Truly Bedrock, to be honest with you. I've put so much time and effort into that. It's unbelievable. Completely well over and beyond anything I've ever done before. And I'm really enjoying it. I thought I would find it difficult. I thought I would find it stressful continuing to keep putting out the content day after day, or week after week at least. And I haven't. I'm really enjoying it. But I'm supposed to be talking about outside of Minecraft, so forget that for a minute. What have I been doing? Well, like I said, work went from being very busy and me doing lots and lots of miles to being relatively quiet, which is nice. I've been keeping up at my classes at the gym. I've been going at least once a week. I've been trying to go 2 or 3 times a week. I've also been riding my bike to work as well, which is very good for fitness. So that's coming along nicely. I feel like I am getting fitter slowly but surely. It was half term or the end of term. I think it was last week or the week before. The Easter holidays were upon us, which meant I had my kids off school for a whole week with me, which meant no recording Minecraft, no playing Minecraft, and just having a really nice time doing things one-on-one with my kids. I got to take them out places. We went on bike rides. Oliver's obsessed with Crash Bandicoot at the minute, so I had to play Crash Bandicoot, which I don't like, to be honest with you, because it's hard. Crash Bandicoot's one of those games where you don't get enough lives before it's game over and you've got to start again, and it's so hard. And what I didn't realise when we started playing it is I actually had my TV just set up in normal TV mode, so there was a massive delay with me pressing a button on the controller and something happening on screen, and I couldn't figure it out. I thought it was just Crash Bandicoot the way it was programmed. So I ended up getting really frustrated, and I looked online to try and find out what was going on, and it turned out that you can turn on game mode on my TV, which increases the response between an input and something showing on the screen. And since I've done that, Crash Bandicoot's 10 times easier because when I press jump, he actually jumps. And when I press spin, he actually spins. So since I've done that, we've actually been able to crack on and actually get through quite a lot of levels. The other game that Oliver, bear in mind he's 4, he's obsessed with is something called Red Ball. And you get it on the iPad. I think you can get it on Android as well. And he plays Red Ball 4. And when I say he plays it, he's really good at it. But most of the time it says he wants me to play it to do it for him because he gets stuck. So now I've completely completed Red Ball 4. I've 3-starred all of the levels. We've unlocked all of the different balls. And I feel pretty epic about that, to be honest. So yeah, that's what we was doing for most of Easter, was playing Red Ball, Crash Bandicoot and going out on bike rides and for days out, which was really, really nice. Easter itself came and went, and there wasn't actually too much chocolate involved, which was quite nice. The kids did get quite a lot of eggs from people, but to be honest with you, they weren't that bothered about eating them this year. Jack scurried off up to his room with a couple of the chocolate orange Easter eggs, and I never saw those again. I saw the wrappers in his room a few days later eaten, but Oliver, who's normally the one with the biggest sweet tooth, hardly ate any, which was really nice. It made a really nice change to see him sort of being more attracted to healthy foods rather than just tons of chocolate, which was good. So that was outside of Minecraft. What's been happening in Minecraft? Well, I think I pretty much summed it up already, haven't I? I've been pretty much constantly either editing, recording, playing, collabing, organising, or basically dealing with Truly Bedrock in one stretch or another. So yeah, not only was I recording and editing and putting out all of my Season 0 videos, but we've also been working on in the background setting up Season 1, getting that off the ground, what we were going to be doing, inviting new members in. And I'm not saying it's all me, by the way. I'm not the one doing all of it, but I am heavily involved with it, which does actually take a lot of time. When you're sat basically with your phone in your hand on Discord for hours straight discussing how it's going to go and what we're going to do. And then obviously I'm creating maps and going through seeds and trying to find out good seeds and organising what we're going to do on day one and all that sort of stuff. It all takes a lot of time. And the biggest issue I had was that we didn't know that the 1.11 update was going to drop when it did. We all thought it was going to be at least another 2 or 3 weeks out. Originally, the plan for Season 0 was we were going to record for 8 weeks, and when 1.10 came out, which we thought was going to be the full Village and Pillage, we were going to basically stop recording and start recording Season 1. But Season 0 took off. We were all having a great time. No one wanted to stop. 1.10 came out. We realised it wasn't what we wanted, so we thought we'd wait for 1.11, which gave us more time. So we started building up the storylines even more. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere on Twitter, one of the developers for Mojang went, Minecraft 1.14 for Java Edition's coming out on Tuesday. And everyone went, oh no, that means 1.11's coming out as well. I bet you 1.11 comes out at the same time. And lo and behold, Aubrey popped up on Twitter a few seconds later and went, Minecraft 1.11's coming out on Tuesday, all being well. And we're like, oh no, quick. we gotta wrap this up quick. Bearing in mind at this point, we were all starting to think about winding down, but I was still halfway, well, not even halfway through building my time machine. If you didn't know about my time machine, for my end of season, how to get from Season 0 to Season 1, it was all a big sort of Back to the Future-esque style story with time machines and all sort of stuff, and it was the biggest build I've ever built in Minecraft ever, and it took me 2 solid weeks of building to actually build that time machine. On the Easter holidays, whenever the kids was in bed, I would put the computer on and I put like maybe 3 or 4 hours in a night into building that time machine and then developing a story around it. There was me from the future coming back, helping. We went back in time and affected the past, or tried to at least, and it was really, really good fun, but it took a long time. And I found out that that update was coming early on in the stages of building that, which meant I needed to finish building it as quickly as possible, get the episodes recorded, edited, all the 3D graphics done and all of the interesting stuff done for basically to start Season 1. And I was hoping that we'd have maybe a week or 2 to actually start Season 1 after the Village and Pillage update had actually come out, but everybody in the group was like, no, the update's out now. We need to get this out as quick as possible. So there was a compromise in the end. Originally, we were gonna release the episodes on the Saturday that's just gone, and we actually managed to delay it till the Tuesday, which, as I'm recording this, was yesterday, which was very nice that I had an extra couple of days. But it was still, way, way quicker than I had to deal with. So I literally thought, right, the only way I'm going to do this to finish off Season 0 and prepare for Season 1 and do all the things we need to do is just to take the week off work. So I just didn't go to work for the entire week, even though I'd just taken a week off with the kids for the Easter holidays, took another week off, got everything done just in time, and touch wood, I believe it all went very, very smoothly, and I'm really, really happy with how Season 1 has started. Whew, wow. That's just hard work just saying about it, guys. The other thing that has happened in the last 11 weeks is something that's touched me in a really nice way, and it is from all of the people that are basically pledged to me on Patreon or VIPs in my Discord, all of the people that have been around me and my Minecraft community for the longest time now, over a year, really. Well, some of them have been at least. And they got together to make a surprise for me, effectively, on my Bedrock Survival Realm. So the series I was recording mainly before Truly Bedrock came along was on a Bedrock Survival Realm, which I started off as a single-player world, and then I opened it up for my patrons to come and play. And they... Basically, Canado, or Jamie as he's known, came to me in the Discord and he said, look, I would like it if we could have a secret chat room and a secret voice chat that you can't see. And I said, right, okay, you can have that with pleasure, but I don't think Discord will allow me to not be able to see it. It won't allow somebody else that's not the Discord owner to not see it. So what I did was I gave him admin permissions to set it all up, and I muted it, and I genuinely... For about 6 weeks until it all came out, I never, ever, ever looked in there because they were obviously putting their heart and souls into doing something for me. I didn't want to ruin that by being nosy. And to be honest with you, I'm not the sort of person that likes gossiping. I'm not interested in secrets and things that's going on. And I do appreciate when people put in effort, especially when that's effort on my behalf. So yeah, I completely ignored that chat, even though on occasion they would do an @ everyone or an @ here ping in there, and I would get a notification telling me that there's something gone on in there. I would just have to right click it, mark it as read, and then just sort of wonder what they're up to. A few weeks later, they came to me and they said, look, we've got 2 phases of this thing done now. The first phase is just a little bit of fun, and that's ready. And the second one is a big reveal. We're not ready for that one yet. So do you want to come on and basically record the first phase? And then we'll tell you when the second phase is done later on and you can come do that. So I went on and they'd done basically this big prank thing where it was a whole history of me and Geraldine, which again was another storyline from the Truly Bedrock series. And it was so funny. It was so funny. They killed me about 3 or 4 times, which I knew was going to happen. It wasn't a problem. I really, really enjoyed it. And it was just so funny. I don't think I've laughed that much actually playing Minecraft in a very, very long time. And they'd obviously put a lot of effort in. They put a lot of time into doing it, and it really, really did show. So I put that episode out as a bit of a teaser to the surprise that was coming up, and it was really well received, which I'm really happy about. Then about 2 weeks later, they came back and they said, right, the rest of it's done now. Can you come on and do the big surprise and record it? And I said, I'm really sorry. I'm too busy this week. I'm going to have to leave it for a week, which I felt really horrible about. But it was the Easter holidays when I had my kids. There was nothing I could do about it. So they were really good about it and said, yeah, no problem. Do it when you come back. So as soon as my kids went home, we organised a date. We recorded it and it was amazing. They basically built 2 absolutely massive, and you can't get your head round how massive, but huge, big concrete powder boxes which went up from the ground level to the sky limit. They must have been at least 100 blocks across each and deep, and they were all wired up to when they press a button, all the concrete would fall down and reveal what was inside. And it must have taken at least 5 of the 6 weeks just gathering the resources for those boxes. And when the walls came down, inside was basically a couple of statues of my character Attacking a pigman, which they'd voted on was an enemy that had thwarted me the most in that particular world, and it just looked amazing. They had a full diamond sword made of diamonds, they had a full gold sword made of gold. They put so much effort in. These statues were huge as well, and I just couldn't believe it. I was completely blown away by it. I put that video out last week, and there's me joking all the way through it because I just didn't know how to handle feeling that way with people actually putting that much time and effort in on my behalf. I can't get my head around it now. So I'm just so thankful, and I don't think I got it across in the video, but I am so thankful for everybody that got involved in that, for Jamie and Val and Mitz for organising it, and everybody else that did even if they just helped gather a handful of blocks, or even if they just took part in the Discord chat about it. Anybody that took part in that really did deep down make me feel, I don't know the words to describe it, but very humbled. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's not get bogged down with all these tears and feeling nices about ourselves. What's coming up in today's podcast? Well, we've got the news. There's lots of news going on. We're going to get to that shortly. We don't have a Q&A. No Q&A this week, mainly because in the last 11 weeks, believe it or not, I don't seem to have got that many questions. Either that or I have had questions that I've forgotten, which is more likely to be the case. Then we're going to discuss very briefly the 1.11 Village and Pillage update. Then we're going to discuss my Bedrock realm being reset for the Village and Pillage update, which is something that's going to be coming up very soon. And then we're going to discuss Truly Bedrock and all the fun things that are going on around about Season 1. So I guess first things first with the news. Well, Truly Bedrock Season 0 has finished. That is, I suppose, newsworthy. Recording that was absolutely amazing. I've never had so much fun recording an entire series. And believe it or not, that is the first Let's Play series of a survival series that I've finished. Believe it or not, I have a start and an end on my channel for that one. I've had a few like adventure map videos and things like that I've started and finished before. And I've even done a few when the Java 1.11 update came out, I did like a Let's Play on that for a few episodes of finding out all the things that were in that update. So I finished those, but as a general rule, like a survival multiplayer series, I've never finished one. So it was really nice to actually have a storyline that started at the beginning, finished at the end, tied up all the loose ends, and have a fully finished series. Yeah, it was amazing. Such a nice feeling. And it was so well received. I got so many good comments about it. People seemed to really enjoy it. I got a little bit of flack about my ideas about time travel, but then I don't think anybody's ever going to agree on how time travel actually works. And it was just really nice. The other nice thing to see about Truly Bedrock Season 0 is that it wasn't just my channel that was boosted by it, if you like. It wasn't just my channel that got more views and more subscribers and more watch time and things like that. Quite a few of the members, even Silent Whisper, their channels just went berserk. When, like, Slack went from, I think, having about 200 subscribers to having over 1,000. Prowl's in the same boat with that, I think, as well. It was just ridiculous how some people's channels just seem to explode because of, I don't think it was just Truly Bedrock, but because of being a part of that. The Truly Bedrock Discord's really taken off. We're getting new members in there all the time. People that were subscribed to certain channels on some of our members started watching other members. Yeah, the level of content that people were putting out just got better and better every single week. And it was just amazing to see how certain people did and just how well the series did altogether, which is great. So anyway, that's Truly Bedrock again. I keep talking about Truly Bedrock. Are you sick of it yet? What other news has happened in the last 11 weeks? Minecraft 1.10 for Bedrock Edition came out, and that brought with it shields, lanterns, crossbows, the loom, the lectern, bark blocks, strip lods, the inventory bug. The inventory bug. Oh man, having a shulker box in your inventory, or a whole load of shulker boxes in your inventory, or just even enchanted items, just make your game so unplayable. It was ridiculous. That has been, I believe, pretty much fixed in 1.11, which is nice. But the 1.10 update came out. It was a bit of a half update again with not much in it, but the stuff in it was actually pretty good. I'm not really bothered about the crossbows, as anybody who watches my videos will know. I'm not a big fan of the crossbow, mainly because they're a lot less powerful than the bow. They're a lot less accurate than the bow, and they can't be enchanted like the bow can. And the enchantments you can get don't really help a great deal. They're all right for close range stuff, but they're not really good for, a ranged weapon, which is what they're really supposed to be for. Shields are good, lanterns are amazing, the loom, the lectern are good, bark blocks are good. Yeah, I was really happy with it. It was just so sad that the inventory bug was causing such a problem. But the really good news is that, it wasn't very long. It was only a couple of weeks, really, between that and the 1.11 update, which fixed the inventory bug and brought with it all the new villagers and new trading and pillagers with raids and patrols and ravagers and the new workstations and the whole village mechanics with beds and bells instead of doors, the wandering trader and his llamas, the campfire, sweet berries, bamboo jungles, but no foxes. No foxes, not yet. And they might not even be in 1.12 either. It looks like they're going to be coming in 1.13 or beyond. But the positives that are coming out of things are the bug fixes. 1.11, although it does have some rather broken pillager and raid mechanics, and even villagers to a certain extent, it's not got, for me, any new game-breaking bugs. There's nothing that's like killing you when you try and sleep, or dropping you from the sky when you spawn in, or just ruin everything with lag or inventory issues. So it's pretty good. There's a couple of problems with the actual realms management page. If you're on Windows 10 and you want to add people to your realm and you've got more than one page worth of friends, you can't go to the second page, or at least when you do, it pings you back to the first page, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It is probably by far the best, least buggy update, I believe, that Bedrock Edition have put out, which is, if this is a sign of things to come in the future, that's really, really positive. And also talking to a few of the developers over the last few weeks has really made me feel better that they are actually working on a lot of the bugs. One of the developers, known as Cornerhard, who's actually a member of the Truly Bedrock Discord, and we've been talking to him, and he's been assuring us that there are lots and lots of fixes going on in the background, performance increases, stuff like that. And I'm really, really excited to see where things are going, which is amazing. Which is probably one of the reasons I haven't put a podcast out for a long time, because I'm normally getting passionate about when updates are broken or new things coming out in updates I don't think have been thought through very well. But for so far, I'm really happy. 1.10 was a bit of an issue, but 1.11 came out almost straight after, and it's really good. It's really good. I can't say anything bad about it, really. So at this point in the podcast, I would just like to remind everybody that I am available online if you want me. If you want to get hold of me, you can contact me at Twitter at FoxyNoTail. I've got a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/FoxyNoTail. You can support me. You can pledge to me on Patreon. You can even join my realms, which is patreon.com/FoxyNoTail. And I have a website. Which is FoxyNoTail.com. You can also join my Discord. The invite link is on the website, and on there we talk about all sorts of fun things, including what I've been up to, what's going on, and just Minecraft in general. The other Discord you might want to think about joining is the Truly Bedrock Discord, if you're interested in that. And I also finished making the Truly Bedrock website last week, which is trulybedrock.com, which you can go to for world downloads and information on all of the new members as well as the old members, as well as every single Truly Bedrock video that has ever been released. Right, let's get on with discussing our main feature, which is the Village and Pillage update, Bedrock Edition 1.11. Okay then, so as I've already pointed out, the Village and Pillage update, or Minecraft Bedrock Edition 1.11, has so far, touch wood, been very, very smooth, for me at least. There have been a handful of raid bugs, which include things like pillagers and raid parties spawning underground, where you can't find them and they can't get to the village, or inside of blocks, or just miles away from the villages, which is a bit weird. I've also found that you can get the bad omen effect without actually killing the pillager captain, which was a bit weird. In the competition we had for our episode zeros for season 1 of Truly Bedrock, we had a competition where 3 teams of 5 had to go to an outpost, kill a pillager captain to get the bad omen effect, then go to a village which would trigger a raid, and then defend the village from the raid, getting the Hero of the Village achievement. The first team to get that, well, it's not an achievement, it's effect, I guess, at the end of the day, but the first team to get the effect of Hero of the Village were the winners. Now, When I went to the outpost to kill the pillager captain, I thought I'd killed him when I recorded it and I got the bad omen effect. But when I edited the video, it was quite clear to see that he wasn't actually dead. He was still running about afterwards chasing me, but I'd hit him enough times, I guess, to get the effect. So that was a bit weird. So I would probably class that as a bug. And also villagers. Villagers seem to be a little bit broken in how they respond to their new workstations and the beds and things like that. They appear to be able to detect a village or a workstation from absolutely miles away. So in an upcoming episode, I'm going to do a bit of a spoiler here, but in an upcoming Truly Bedrock episode, I actually go off to a village and I try and get a couple of villagers from that villagers back to my base so that I can set up a villager trading hall. And as I do that, I get 2 villagers. I'm transporting them about 400 blocks away from their village to an area where there is no village, and they get about halfway across, or even further than that. Really, they're almost there all the way to the end, and they start breeding for no reason. There's no beds nearby. There's no workstations nearby, and they just started breeding and had a baby. I hadn't given them any food, so their inventories would have been empty. It was really, really bizarre, and I don't understand it, to be honest with you. If you're not sure of how the mechanics should work, villagers no longer use doors to detect a village. A village is declared by having beds. That's basically what they do instead now. For every available bed, you will get a new villager if the villagers are willing and prepared to breed. Now, the other thing that declares a village or a village centre is a bell. That's where they go to discuss things every day, and they discuss things like, should we spawn an iron golem and things like that. And they also need workstations such as the new crafting tables, the looms, the lecterns and things like that to decide what job they're going to do. And that also helps them refresh their trades. So let's say you've got a villager standing next to a loom and there's nothing else. He might connect to that, decide he's going to be a shepherd or whatever it is that uses looms, and then he'll have the associated trades for that. You can only get one villager to connect with one workstation. So you need one workstation per villager to have him have an occupation, and you need one bed per villager so that they'll have somewhere to sleep. If they don't sleep, they get grumpy, they won't sell you stuff. If they don't have a workstation, they won't restock stuff, so they won't sell you stuff. So yeah, there's a lot going on with the new villager mechanics, but they should only breed, as far as I am aware, if there's a spare bed, so a bed that nobody's taken, and it actually is classed as a village, which it wasn't. So it was really weird. Anyway, so yeah, apart from a few minor bugs like that, it's been really good. It feels fresh. It feels like new Minecraft again, which is what I really like. When you get an update that actually makes things feel like exciting, like you want to go out and deal with these new things, it's really good, and it gives your brain chance to do a little bit of exercise and figure out these new mechanics and how it's going to work. And that's what really draws me to the game. So I'm really happy with this update overall. The issues that I thought were going to be there from the pillager patrols and things like that have all seemed to have been dealt with in such a good way that you don't get hassled by these pillager patrols hardly at all, to be honest. And to start a raid, to have to actually physically go and start a raid, I think is a really good way of addressing the whole thing. So you don't have to be dealing with protecting villages if you don't want to. The biggest thing for me, the thing I like most about this update, or just about how the Mojang team for Bedrock Edition seem to be behaving at the moment, is that they seem a lot more focused than they were before on fixing game issues that more technical players are basically encountering. Before, they were fixing bugs and things that were really obvious, or easy little ones that the general casual player would, or the main part of the player base, I guess, would come across, but they weren't really dealing with all of these game-breaking ones that stopped you from doing anything technical. Now they're really getting into all of the sort of the technical areas as well, and the whole game seems to be coming to a much more technical level overall. We seem to be getting more and more people involved in Bedrock Edition that are technical, that are doing farms and redstone and stuff like that, and it's really nice to see that Bedrock Edition isn't just the edition for kids anymore, that it can be used by everybody, which is amazing. So I'm really, really happy with how things are going, really, really happy with the state of Minecraft at the moment, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it can continue on this path and just get better and better. The only other thing I really want to touch on here is the new textures, which I know have thrown a lot of people off. A lot of people don't like them. I love them. I think the new textures are absolutely fantastic. I think they make, again, the game feel a lot more fresh, a lot more interesting. I just really, really enjoy, playing with that feel. It's not a texture pack. It's not an add-on. This is what Minecraft is supposed to look like now, and I think it's great. I think it's great that we can have these subtle changes and these slight differences, and they make such a big effect to the game as you're playing it. So yeah, really, really good. Let's get on to discussing the next thing, which is hopefully something that a lot of my members and patrons will be really excited about hearing. This is the big announcement for what we're going to be doing on the Bedrock Realm when it resets. I guess the first question, though, is when are we going to reset it? The Village and Pillage update's already come out. Why haven't we done it yet? Well, the reason is I didn't really want to have two big series resetting at exactly the same time, because not only would I be competing with myself trying to start brand new worlds at the same time and put videos out for them both, but also just the whole organisation of it all and putting it all together and getting two different series started with all the different things that are going to be going on. So yeah, it's been delayed. And the good news is that I want to get it all up and running for the 10th of May, which is the 1st of May as I'm recording this today. So I'm hoping at the weekend of the 10th of May, we will have reset the realm and we will be starting a brand new world together. And I have a plan, and I haven't discussed this plan with anybody. This is a plan that I've been thinking of in the background, and it is born of trying not to do the same thing over and over again. The YouTube or the standard or the default for Minecraft survival multiplayers seems to be getting pretty similar. Everybody's doing very similar things. Well, not everybody. Some people aren't. But the main idea is that you all go off, you have your bases, there's like an area you come back to in the center to do stuff together, you have shops, you create an economy, things like that. And that works really well. And that's what we're doing on Truly Bedrock, and I really enjoy doing that. But I don't want to do two series that are pretty much exactly the same but on different seeds. So I decided that it would be a good idea to have a really big twist on that and actually go down more of a route of something like the Realm of Bastion or something like that. If you haven't heard of that, it's basically a survival multiplayer world where instead of effectively competing against each other by having their own bases and their own farms and their own shops and things like that, everybody works together. They all work as a community. They get all of the resources together. They share those resources. The community farms are all shared. There's no economy. There's no shops. There's no buying things from each other. There's no end raiding and selling it all. Everybody just shares. So they put an equal amount of time into using those resources that are shared as they do gathering it. So it would be easy in that particular situation to go, hey, right, look, everybody else has been gathering all these materials. I'm just going to build with them. People work together so that if they decide they're going to use a lot of wood in one of their builds, they'll also go and gather a lot of wood so that the community's always got resources available, but they can build at a time that's convenient to them and they can gather resources that's at a time convenient for them. That will work really well for me because I can record on an evening at home when I don't have my kids here, because I can't record when they're in bed because they'll wake up, and I can gather resources when they are here and they're in bed because I don't have to talk. Or I can even gather resources when I'm having a lazy day at work and there's nothing going on and I can log in and do it then. So that fits my play style really well. The other thing is there are a lot of my members or Patreons that joined my realm that aren't technical and they're not super invested players. They just want to be more casual. They might not be confident builders. They're not confident enough to go and get loads of resources and start selling stuff. So they just wanted to help out by gathering resources. Now they'll be able to be as big a part of the team as everybody else because they will be supplying the team with even more resources. So I think having a completely community-driven server that has no economy in it, that everything is shared and worked for together, is going to be a really fresh, new and exciting way of doing it. And what I want to create, what I want us all to create, is a living city, something like the city of Foxton or something daft like that. I don't know. I haven't got a proper name for it yet. But a living city where we actually use the brand new villagers and villager mechanics to live in the houses and live in the shops and work in the shops and go to the play areas and go to the bowling alleys and go to the sports centres and the superstores and everything like that. So I don't want it to be like a modern city with tarmac roads and all that sort of stuff, because that's just horrible in my opinion. Tarmac roads in Minecraft shouldn't be a thing, but they seem to be. So somewhere between the medieval and the Victorian / Tudor-esque style of things, cobblestone roads, things like that are absolutely fine. But basically, if people really want to, they can go off and have their own base and their own farms. Absolutely fine. But the idea is that everybody works together in a central location to plan out a city, to build a city from the ground up, from scratch, and do all of those things. So we'll have residential areas, we'll have shopping areas, we'll have a giant superstore, we'll have play areas and sports centres and outdoor areas, and we can decorate all the gardens and fountains, and we can have games and mini games and all that sort of stuff. I really, really like this idea of us coming together as a community to do that and just keep on expanding, because that also allows new members to come in and not feel like they're way behind. They can just come in and get cracking on and working towards, something that's going to be continually growing and expanding. There's no start point. There's no stop point. That city can just get bigger and bigger and bigger forever and ever until we decide, right, that's enough of that. Then we're going to start again, or we're going to do something else, or we're going to move on to another area, something like that. So that's my vision for this. I haven't shared this with anybody yet. The first reactions are going to be the reactions to this podcast, and I'm looking forward to them. I think some people will probably be a little bit annoyed that we're not going to have that, ability to sell and create shops and make loads of diamonds. But if you turn that around and you think, well, you can still create those farms and produce those resources to put into the community, you just, you're not getting a pocket full of diamonds. But you don't need a pocket full of diamonds, because those diamonds are already there and available for you from the people that have gone mining to get them. So by taking away any sort of monetary value, any economy from it, there's no... Yeah, you can still do everything exactly the same and build all the farms and do all the stuff. You can even build the shops because you can build them in the city. You just won't be rewarded in the same way. You'll be rewarded by giving rather than taking or receiving, which I think is a really nice way to be rewarded, personally. The other thing I want to become back to the Bedrock realm, although it's always a difficult thing to do, especially with my schedule being so hectic and everybody else's schedules being hectic, but I would like to get back to having more regular community events, even if I'm not a part of all of them, but just having sort of a weekly or a monthly or even like once every couple of weeks type thing where we do mining competitions and games and mini games and capture the flag and hide and seek. And as the town and the city evolves, there will be places that you can go and play games. There will be archery ranges, and there will be bowling alleys, and there will be different things we can do and take part in, and we can do that as a community and have fun with that. So we're building those things into it from ground zero. It's not like we have to have a completely separate gaming district to add a little bit of fun in and wait for all the games to be built. We can do that from the very start. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting that reset, getting that started. The bad news is, though, and the sad news is that the Chaos Realm, which is it used to be the free realm, and it is now the $1 patron pledge realm, that's going. I'm getting rid of it. I'm shutting it down. There's still issues on there with stealing. I will do a tour video of it once it's closed, and I will release the world as a download for anybody that plays on it that wants to continue building in that world. You can have it with pleasure, no problem, but it's going away and it's not coming back. It was always designed to be to prove the point that having a free realm is a bad idea. And although there are some amazing builds in there, I'm not knocking anybody that genuinely put time and effort into that. There are some really, really amazing things going on there. But unfortunately, it's the people that aren't the amazing, the people putting the time in, doing the amazing builds and actually putting the effort into resource gathering, the people that are just going in and stealing and taking things and making a mess of it all. It's a shame, but they just ruined it for everyone else, and there's nothing I can do about it. The problem with Bedrock Edition especially on realms and servers, there's no logs. There's no logs to see what people have been doing. There's no chat logs to see who's been saying what. There's no way I can prove that somebody's done something or not, unless it's been caught on camera, which chances are it won't be because no one's making videos on that realm. It's going to be impossible to know who's good and who's bad and who's doing what. So the only solution I have is to just get rid of it. So Chaos Realm members, if you want to play on a FoxyNoTail realm, then you will have to look at joining the town of Foxton, or the city of Foxton, or whatever it is we're going to be calling the new realm. In terms of the Java Edition server, it is something that sadly I'm not going to be going back to. My main focus now, it's been proved to me that this is what people want, and it is proved to me that this is where my heart lies, and it is in Bedrock Edition. I'm not interested in Java Edition anymore, and that might sound harsh. It's not that I don't like Java Edition. Java Edition is where I started. I can't forget my roots. But it just feels different. It feels weird now, and it gets no response from my viewers. I really, really like Bedrock Edition. I like where it's going. I love the growth in it. I love the feel of it. I love the feel of the community. So that's where I'm going to be staying. The Java server will continue to go on. If people want to join or pledge and join that, you are more than welcome to. But because the server isn't as active as it was, and it is the most expensive server that I actually have running at £80 per month to keep it going for a handful of members, I am probably going to actually move it over to a realm instead of a server and let it grow and carry on that way, which won't affect anybody that plays on it at all in any way. It will just make it easier to manage and obviously cheaper to run as well, which is always a benefit when things like work aren't going quite as well as they were earlier on in the year, as I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast. In terms of my other content, podcasts I'm going to keep trying to put out, but they are on the back burner, if you like, at the moment, because it just takes so much more time than I was expecting, organising everything else for all the other series. I will try very hard to put them out. I do really enjoy making these. I like the sound of my own voice, and I like sharing my news and information and my feelings with people, and I love the response I get from the podcast. I love that people come to me and they say, hey, I really enjoyed your podcast. When's the next podcast? I really agree with what you said about that, or I disagree with what you said about that, because I love the feedback from the podcast. I love making them, and I want to keep putting more out, but it's one of those things that is hard to do because reasons. I don't know. It's a hard one to explain. And then live streaming was amazing. I had a really good time live streaming. Again, similar to the podcast, believe it or not, it's not an easy thing to just go, right, I'm going to live stream and start live streaming. And the reason is, like on Truly Bedrock at the moment, Season 1 started for you guys, or as I'm recording this, for you guys, Episode 0 started yesterday. I've already recorded and edited the first 4 episodes of my series. So if I do a live stream tomorrow on Truly Bedrock, then you're all going to be like, what's going on? Where's all this stuff come from? And I'm just going to be spoiling my own videos, which I don't really want to do. So I need to wait to the point where my pre-recordings catch up with real life, and then I'll be live streaming maybe an episode ahead at most, so that I'm not just completely spoiling everything. So maybe in about a week or 2, I can start live streaming and putting some streams out on Truly Bedrock, which is something I want to do. Truly Bedrock Season 1 is going to be a good 12 to 18 month series, and I want to do, obviously, making videos on that very regularly, but I also want to stream from it as well. Which brings us on nicely to actually talking about the last subject, which is Truly Bedrock. I've pretty much beaten it to death at this point in this podcast, but I just want to say that I'm really looking forward to Season 1. Like I said, I've already recorded 4 episodes on it. I've played probably about 10 or 12 hours on it already. I've done quite a bit of work, and there's a lot going on with it. There's an absolute ton going on. It's going to be an amazing year or so of recording on that. We've got so many different things going on. 5 brand new members, which are adding so much to the team. We've got community projects. We've got collaborations going on. We've got all the new mechanics to play with. So I'm really, really excited about getting started and putting effort into that. Now, Season 0, I only made Season 0 videos. I didn't do anything else. I didn't do any Bedrock Realm videos. I didn't do any Java Edition videos. With Season 1, I am going to be taking a slight step back in terms of the fact that I'm going to be starting to do maybe a weekly or every 2-week Bedrock Realm video, but I'm going to be doing a lot of live streaming from it as well, and I'm also going to hopefully be doing live streaming from the Bedrock Realm. So you should see a good mix of both of those on the channel, and hopefully allowing me to put the similar amount of effort into both. The good thing is, because it's not timed, like Season 0, we knew we had a limit. It made you want to put a lot of effort and hard work in fast because you knew it was going to end soon. With Season 1, as much as I want to start off with a bang and get going really fast and get all the end game stuff early, there's no massive pressure to build lots and as fast as we can. We can actually take our time, plan things out properly, do it properly, and make some really good content. And storylines as well. I've got more time to develop good storylines and make interesting and funny videos coming out from those. So there we go. That is pretty much all I've got to talk about on all of those things. As I said earlier, if you want to talk to me, you can get me on Twitter at FoxyNoTail. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/FoxyNoTail. I have a website which is FoxyNoTail.com, and on that you can find the links to my Discord server, the links to my Patreon, and everything else that you might want to find out about me. And if you want to get in touch with me or you want to get involved, then I have Patreon, patreon.com/FoxyNoTail. If you pledge to me on that, you can join my realms, you can join the servers, and you get VIP access on the Discord to talk about all the private stuff that no one else gets to see. My plans for the next week are to get the Bedrock Realm reset in motion, get that organised, get a seed picked out, get the plans in place. I want to update my Patreon to reflect where we are now and update the pledges and things like that. And I also want to update and refresh my website as well. I would like at some point this week to go to work and earn some money. That would be nice. And sadly, as I mentioned earlier, I will be closing the Chaos Realm this week, but expect to see a world tour video on that very, very soon. Something to think about for the next week. What do you think about the idea of a community-driven living city without the economy, without shops, without monies, without spending diamonds and earning diamonds? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Do you think it will entice more people to be able to come in and play without the stress of having to be a good builder or having to be able to go to the end and do lots of raiding in order to open shops? Or do you just think it's a bad idea? Do you think that will just kill it because there's no economy there and no desire? People have drawn to Minecraft for diamonds. If there's no desire to earn diamonds, is there still the desire to play and build and work together? Let me know what you think. I've been FoxyNoTail. You've been listening. Hopefully you got to this point. I really hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, do leave a like, subscribe, share, and all that stuff. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!